What gave you hope? The fire burning red in a Georgia representing if it comes hard here. Big up Kidaki, Buxton Massive. Hey Babylon boy, you going like in a like come son. Red.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now know what you can I did money. Money, never money, money. You can keep your conniving money. When you've been knocked for a bum, you have been tell me money. Now because your money down, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, you have been tell me money. Now because your money down, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now know what you conniving money. Neighbor joker, neighbor joker, neighbor joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a guilda piece. A 2 pound note and a guilda piece. A 2 pound note and a guilda piece. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now I know what you can I make money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in the Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Comes TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruptions over land and sea, where the wicked politician they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see. Sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which Jah has ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, we got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, Port People Governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
It's the PNCR fundraising bingo on Sunday, the 27th of October at Congress Place of Fire from 2 p.m. Over $5 million to be won. There will be 20 straight games at $100,000 per game, 3 letter games at $200,000 per game, 3 coverall games at $1 million per game. Tickets are $6,000. 1 ticket gets you 6 playing cards. Remember, it's the PNCR Big Fundraising Bingo on Sunday, the 27th of October at Congress Place of Fire from 2 p.m.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in town, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is, Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you.
Stop running around like headless chicken. Go to Ashton's Marketplace for whole and cut chicken, beef, pork, processed meats like bacon, beef franks, smoked ham, ground pork, calabresa, and lots more. Ashton's offers wholesale and retail. Check them out. Call 613-2332 or WhatsApp 434-327-3955. Ashton's Marketplace at 72 Rob Street, Border.
Are you planning your next visit to Oil Ridge, Guyana, South America? Well, let's accommodate you at Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. With free secured on-premises parking, our beautiful vacation air-conditioned home offers 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, a spacious kitchen, and all modern amenities. Located at Tushen, on the eastern bank of the mighty Essequibo and the western coast of the Demerara, Varon's Cheerful Country Manor is just a stone throw from the ocean. Make that reservation now on Airbnb and VRBO. For contact, call us on 516-770-3053 or 592-685-3521. Make Veron's Cheerful Country Manor your home away from home.
Friday, November 1st, the place to be is at Club Twilight. Yours truly, Trinidad Madman. I will be coming to Guyana for the first time, live and alive in living colors, in Buxton at Twilight Sideline Dam for an event called Short Pants and Skirts. So ladies, all they come out in all their numbers. Twilight Sideline Dam in Buxton, East Coast Guyana. Buxton is going to be on a shutdown. So ladies, get all your short pants and skirts. Friday, November 1st, the place to be is at Club Twilight.
Comes out your son. You burn the swine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb, cause them heart no kind. Comes, I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Hat.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T and W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Ramveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T and W Harris Butcher Shop, for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
In a world full of happy people. Morning, I am morning. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. How are you doing? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is 7 hours 33 on the 22nd day of October in the year 2024. Welcome to the program. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. It's Tuesday. Some people say it's Thankful Tuesday. Yes, we all have a right to be thankful. We're alive. We got up. We smell the fresh air. Some of us already had breakfast. Some of us went for a walk. What did the rest of you do? How was your yesterday? What you did yesterday? What gave you hope for a better Guyana yesterday? This is interesting. Very. I'll tell you what is interesting just now. What gave you hope for better Guyana? What gave you hope that you are in the right place and it is worth spending your life here? How did you pass last night? Did you sleep well? How well did you sleep? Which side of the bed you got up from this morning? How are you feeling? Are you feeling enthusiastic about the possibilities ahead? Do you believe you'll be able to achieve some of those smart goals that you set? I'm asking. Y'all talk to me. Are you staying hydrated? Are you staying hydrated? The heat out there is vicious, it's terrible. It's murderous. Like before the last, I think the temperature was what, 31 or 32 degrees. That is murder. And so I hope you're taking the necessary steps to safeguard your health. You have to stay hydrated. Well, I was about to say stay indoors as much as you can. But remember, indoors is an enclosed space. And unless you have free air passage, free air flow, then that could be hazardous as well. I wonder how our children are making out in schools. Like I like to say, I wonder how they're making out in those box ovens that we build usually and call them schools. Are they relying only on the natural airflow, or the schools are now equipped with fans or air conditioning units? I would recommend air conditioning units. Because like fans are usually safe for fans blow what they get. And if they are getting hot air, then hot air is what they have to blow. Nathan Fraser. Nathan said, please give us Fahrenheit. Nathan is telling me to convert degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. You could get it in a jiffy on Google. Right? You could get it in a jiffy on Google. That is one of the problems we got. Right? We want people to do everything for us. Good? Why we stay like that? It was 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Make Google your friend, man. You see, when y'all come here and task me in the morning, you have to send me to some places. One of the things that's coming to me is, look how they want to walk me. But they still turn back and cost me. When I tell them put something in the Zelle or in the Cash App. Your services are giving you. It's just an example. You're getting services which you ought to pay for, but you're getting it free. Yes, I was saying, I think it's best to put air conditioners, ACs as we call them, into schools. Because if the air is hot, that is what the fan is going to distribute. And the other thing is, most times we find fans in buildings. We are talking about the old generation of fans. Fans are more modern now. The fans that people are referring to as AC fans, they're fans that can actually, let me call them the right thing, exhaust fans, I think we call them.
One section brings in fresh air and the other one pushes out the foul air. They do that air exchange. But we have a government and we have public officials who treat the money that belongs to the citizens of this country as if it is theirs to keep and not spend on the well-being of the citizens and the development of the country. And so even if you go into schools, you're going to find, and you find funds, you're not going to find anything that is modern and technologically improved to improve the experience. Of cool air or a cool environment for education. But it's more than that. I remember a few months ago or weeks ago when schools reopened, the teachers at Annandale Primary had to basically go on a sit out, go on a strike, bring everybody outside, and outside the heat was unbearable. So, and so they eventually went on Facebook and complained that for weeks prior to school opening, since the closing of the previous term, they were in contact with the Ministry of Education, Department of Education Region 4, indicating to them that they had electrical problems at the schools. Right? So even if the schools have fans or the schools have air conditioning units and there is electrical problems, like I know there are electrical problems across the country's schools, then they right back at square one. I know of a particular school that I can name now, where the students, with the encouragement of their teacher, pooled resources and got a water dispensing unit for their classroom. But you know what? They can't get cool water out of it because the school has electrical problems. And so that there is no point the water cooler, as we call it, can't be plugged up to cool the water. The same school, the classrooms cannot use fans because there are electrical problems there. I can name at least a dozen schools right in my environment, immediate environment, where the electrical fittings are either not standard or they're broken or not fixed. Even lights. Even lights. And so this is a dereliction of duty on the part of the school's inspectorate, because I think it is the school's inspectorate which is responsible for inspecting the plant facilities and ensuring that it is good, it is in good working order. Just as the education officers are responsible for inspecting the teacher's record of work, etc., to ensure that they are in good order. I can't remember, but I think there are about 42 standards that should be met on an educational plant facility for it to be deemed functional and safe for students and teachers, learners and educators. I must go, I doubt whether I can find that document, but I must check among my stuff to see if I can find that document. And let us talk about educational standards and the failings. Because even as we are constructing new schools, I saw, I think the Chinese wanted a large contract to build the schools in one of the interior regions. And I think I also saw an interior region school declared open, completed, but there are visible signs of a lot of incompleted works on the school. But even as we're building schools, we're spending big money, we're spending our money, let's say, to build schools. We're not building modern schools. In this day and age, learners are placed in an open space. We used to say growing up, open sepulchre, separated only by blackboards or chalkboards, whichever you call them. And the average blackboard has 8 feet in length, 4 feet in height. And when you show that up on legs, it becomes about 8 feet high. It can be 8, maybe about 6 feet high, yeah, just about my height. 6 feet high by 8 feet long, wide. And the classroom is usually maybe about 12 feet wide. So even if you're sitting in a class separated by a blackboard, the possibility is you're going to get line of sight into the other classroom. Or even if you don't get line of sight into the other classroom, there's no real sound barrier. There's no real sound barrier. And so children who are not, who cannot be as focused as others will be easily distracted. What is lost in terms of assimilation of the lesson being taught. But we're talking about modernity. How much more will it cost? How much more will it cost us to have walls separating our classrooms? Because those walls separating our classroom could double as our chalkboards, both sides, chalkboards. Notice board, because the walls are going to be wide. You select a particular section for a chalkboard. If you're using multimedia for teaching, which is recommended in this year, and I'm talking multimedia, we're talking about projectors and laptop computers, etc., connected to the internet and so on. So if you're using multimedia to teach, then a section of that wall can be your whiteboard or your projection screen. They will last longer than if you were to buy a whiteboard or a projector screen from the source, because they will be quote unquote unbreakable. And so in the long run, that wall will be valued every cent that is spent on it. All you have to do ever so often is maintain it. Ensure it's cleaned and primed and painted over so that it always maintains that good look. It keeps out the distraction, it keeps out the noise, and it takes us into some amount of modernity. If you have a room that is properly enclosed, then it is easy for you to put an AC unit to cool that room. You might not be able to do it all at once. You might not be able to put AC units during the construction of the school or as soon as it's constructed. But that is what planning takes care of. We can plan to build the school this year within our budget with certain standards, because we know that the next step is that we're going to put cooling units inside. And so we build it in such a way that it can accommodate cooling units when that time comes. And so another year or two down the line, we budget for cooling units for these schools and we have them installed. These are necessarily long-term projects. You might not be able to achieve everything at the same time. But if you're a good planner, you will plan in phases. Well, first phase of this project is to build the school, construct the structure. Second phase is to furnish it with modern amenities. Third phase is to ensure that all of the necessary teaching aids are available to the teachers. Fourth phase is to get rid of benches, wooden benches. To this day and age, our children are sitting on wooden benches. That creaks, some of them, before I even talk about those benches, I will tell you that if you go into certain schools, again in my immediate environment, you're going to find that teachers are still at desks without tops. Teachers are still at desks that don't have tops. Teachers still have to move from classroom to classroom to find a chair to sit on in this modern era. When we have oil money, as they say, money to knock dog. Well, only Vanessa Yone talks about the bathrooms. Well, that has been a sore point forever. That has been a sore point forever. Teachers still can't use a bathroom on the plant with comfort. They rather hold it in until they get home. That is hours of restricting the body from performing its functions. The long-term effect on the human body is going to be detrimental. STIs, organ failures, and other kinds of infections and so on. Dennis Champion is asking me what I mean desk without tops. Well, I don't know if how to explain desk without tops, Dennis. They got 4 legs, they got structure, but the top is no good. Either it is loose. UTIs, thank you, not STIs. Doreen, sorry. Right. Yes. The desktop in no condition to be used. You can't really work on it. You can't place anything on it. It's unkempt. It's rotting. I don't think it is a case where the government cannot provide the facilities. I think it is a case where the government doesn't prioritize the provision of the facilities. And since the unions are weak, like straw in the wind, teachers go through this and they go through that because their shop stewards and their union reps don't stand up to the government and say, we're going to shut the school down. And the Parent Teachers Association too, don't say we're going to shut the school down because it doesn't meet the minimum standard for safety of the educators and the learners. Exposed electrical wires. Unflushable toilets. If you all think I'm exaggerating, because it sounds to a large extent like Barnum 80s, right? We're still in Barnum 80s. Only that we're under a different set of people who are quite humane because they have resources to rectify these problems, but they choose not. Does it mean that the government doesn't care about education and the safety of learners and educators on the plant? I would want to think so. Because the PPP is a transactional government. They're all about business. If they don't see profit making for themselves and cronies, they don't see importance. They don't see importance. And because the government has become callous, or because the government is a callous one, the people who work for the government, they themselves have become callous. How else can you explain learners complaining to educators about things that are normally shunned, looked down upon, considered taboo, treated as, what's the word I'm looking for? Not acceptable conduct in the society, but the educators simply turn a blind eye to it. You are always complaining. Look, go to your seat. Get fed up. Cavalier in their attitude toward learners. Look, me never got to no class today. I'll take out your book and read. Why you never got to no class today? Because I studying how you're going to pay me like bill tomorrow. It's due tomorrow. I pay me utilities tomorrow, they're due. My child has a class assignment for which I got to find $2,000. And where are you getting it from? So I said, don't get hot in my head. I don't want y'all hot me head neither. Or additionally. I never wish I could take one of these brick and pelts on people on their head. Because it might give them some sense. Right? Yes, Dennis, I accept that. The 80s, the conditions were different. Our economic situations were different. Yeah. But we used to cost the 80s under those conditions, and all I'm saying is, look, our economic situation has changed, but we're still in the 80s. Are we still experiencing similar conditions to the 80s? One of the fear that a lot of educators are walking around with right now is this fear of tuition-free education at the University of Ghana. Why are they scared? Lecturers should be happy for the children, for the learners, for the academics at the University of Ghana. The academics certainly are happy or should be happy that they don't have to find tuition fees to further their education. But here is what I know, and many people who know the PPP and have been paying attention to the PPP over the years. The PPP doesn't like the University of Guyana. They have no love for the University of Guyana. They're not going to invest heavily in the University of Guyana, and the evidence is already out there. Look at the allocation in this year's budget for the GOLD project, which is an online learning excursion. Look at what was budgeted for the GOLD project versus what was budgeted for the University of Ghana. Which programs and policies and delivery and everything is verifiable look at the allocations for gold versus the allocations for the University of Ghana. The University of Ghana, which has physical plant facilities to maintain and overhead costs on a daily and so on and so forth. Look at the allocation to them versus virtual universities, as I call them, under the Gold Project. And you will see that there can be no love there, because instead of spending money with the University of Ghana so that it can improve its physical facilities, number one, and two, its faculty members, number two, so that they can deliver at a higher level. They haven't done that. And the university is struggling right now to do a lot of the things I mentioned, despite the fact that it currently collects tuition fees. It collects tuition fees. And if I am correct, it also receives well, I don't even have to wonder if I'm correct. We see it. It also receives a subvention from the government of Ghana. And so despite the fact it's collecting fees and receiving that subvention, it still struggles. It still struggles. Many of its lecturers are first degree lecturers or first degree holders, what we call them bachelor's degree. Right? That's number one. Number two, it cannot afford, or its lecturers, many of them cannot afford to pay for a second degree or a master's or a doctorate. And so, like I said, I'm going to tell you this, I never said it before and I'm saying it now. No disrespect to the educators at the University of Ghana, because given the little that they have to work with, I dare say they do a darn good job. When I first went to the university and I did my diploma, I did a diploma first. It took me about 15 years to go back to the University of Ghana. Because back then when I looked at the quality and quality of facility and everything else, research facility and everything else, I said this is an overrated secondary school. And I stopped going after my diploma. I don't think I've ever said that to anybody, but I'm saying it now. That is why I stopped. This is an overrated secondary school, man. I'm better than. And so despite the university collecting all of this, well, fees plus subvention, and they can hardly make it through the day. Imagine when the fees are removed, they're not collecting fees, it means that their income would be contracted. Immediately it would be contracted. So they now are reliant on, or now will be reliant on, government subvention. The questions we have to ask: is government going to double, triple, or quad the subvention? First and foremost, the first step is to ensure that an allocation is made to cover the lost fees, tuition fees. Because by now there must be an average of how much the university collects annually in tuition fees. So the first allocation, in my mind, the first level of allocation to be considered is to replace the lost tuition fees. So we got to put that in. So let's assume they lose 100 million in tuition fee.
That's a starting point. The government subvention must cover 100 million. And then we have to add to that 100 million enough to cover the budgeted costs. Do you believe that the PPP, looking at the PPP, do you think that the PPP is going to provide that level of financing to the University of Ghana so that it can become an outstanding university? Even within the Caribbean region, or the most outstanding within the Caribbean region. Do you believe so? I doubt it. I doubt it for several reasons. First and foremost, we know the PPP has a scorched the earth policy. And that is, if we don't control it, we'd rather see it destroyed. The PPP has been making moves for quite a while to get full control of the university. Not so long ago, it increased the size of the board and the number of representatives the government can have on the board and the number of persons the government can name to the board and all of that. So they have been making moves to control the board of directors at the University of Ghana. I've not done the research, but I'm positive that the majority of academics at the University of Ghana, faculty, amount of educators, let me call them that for clarity, they're primarily Afro-Guyanese. The administrators are primarily Afro-Guyanese. And so let's fail them. Like we're failing the Georgetown City Council by not providing resources, even the taxes that we owe, let's fail them. So those are some of the fears. And the administrators at the University of Ghana are concerned about that. And the academics, the academic staff, they're concerned about that. The learners are happy that, hey, we're not going to be paying tuition fees. Every family should be happy because we're going to get the opportunity to send another one of our family member to the university to get an education. But are we going to stand strong enough to ensure that the government of Ghana provides enough so that our people can be properly educated and the educators can be properly remunerated? So much so to stay or want to stay with the University of Ghana, because it's simple. When conditions become bad, there's a freeze in salary, and working conditions are not good enough. The educators, I'm sure many of them will find other options. Even if it is to migrate and become a regular classroom teacher, because the remuneration will be better than they are getting at the University of Ghana. And so then we will end up with a challenge like the ones we had when the resources were not available. Shortage of lecturers at the University of Ghana. So when I ask certain questions about the announced policy of no tuition fee at the University of Guyana, I ask because I want clarity from the government. What else are you going to be doing at the University of Ghana? Is it just removing tuition fees? How do you guarantee the financing and growth of the university without tuition fees? And then there was a recent announcement that tuition fees will be removed from every tertiary institution in this country under government control. It means a government technical institute, the Guyana Industrial Training Center, that's GITC,
It means that the Linden Technical Institute and Borby's Technical Institute, no tuition fees will be charged. Is the Ghana government saying it has the resources to financially sustain these institutions, or it is simply playing politics with us and politics with our children's education? Vote for me, and in 2025 you're going to get all of this. But once 2025 comes and the elections are over, you're going to hear all of the excuses why you can't get it. Because remember, for example, tuition free university education at the university, free university education at the University of Ghana is a promise that was made prior to the 2020 elections. It means that that promise is about 4 years old, but it's now being rehashed in an election year. Are you going to fall for the gimmick? Are you going to take the fair promise? Are you going to be just another fool, falling into the PPP's traps of promises? Y'all work that out. It's 10 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. I'm going to open up the line to you just now. But let me acknowledge the people who helped to make it possible, because they choose to, among other things, advertise with us. And so we start with Ashton's.
Stop running around like headless chicken. Go to Ashton's Marketplace for whole and cut chicken, beef, pork, processed meats like bacon, beef franks, smoked ham, ground pork, calabresa, and lots more. Ashton's offers wholesale and retail. Check them out. Call 613-2332 or WhatsApp 434-327-3955. Ashton's Marketplace at 72 Rock Street, Border.
Are you planning your next visit to Orange, Guyana, South America? Well, let's accommodate you at Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. With free secured on-premises parking, our beautiful vacation air-conditioned home offers 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, a spacious kitchen, and all modern amenities. Located at Tushen, on the eastern bank of the mighty Essequibo and the western coast of the Demerara, Varon's Cheerful Country Manor is just a stone throw from the ocean. Make that reservation now on Airbnb and VRBO. For contact, call us on 516-770-3053 or 592-685-3521. Make Varon's Cheerful Country Manor your home away from home.
Friday, November 1st, the place to be is at Club Twilight. Yours truly, Trinidad Madman. I will be coming to Guyana for the first time, live and alive in living colors, in Buxton at Twilight Sideline Dam for an event called Short Pants and Skirts. So ladies, or they come out in all their numbers, Twilight Sideline Dam in Buxton, East Coast Guyana. Buxton is going to be on a shutdown. So ladies, get all your short pants and skirts. Friday, November 1st, the place to be is at Club Twilight.
Comes out your son. You burn this wine when I want you shine. The tree of life, then I want you climb.
Let me tell you that Varon's is also taking local bookings. Right, so if you are here in Ghana and you would like to book a stay at Varon's, you have to book for at least 3 days and nights. And you can call 683-3110 for more information. 683-3110 for more information from Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. If you want to make local bookings, the minimum number of nights you can book, days or nights, is 3 days or nights. That's the minimum you can book as a local user of Varon's.
Good. So let me talk a little bit to Raphael John, and then I'll go on to the next thing I want to talk about. You see, idiots like these, and I call them by their name. I have no apologies to make. Idiots like these, because this is what they are. Idiots. The only pass I will give Raphael John is if he can prove to me that he is younger than 30 years old. Because we've had the PPP in government for about, what, 30 years now? Or 27, 28 years. Right? So if Raphael is younger than 28 years, well, I'm younger than 28 years because 27 would have been PPP. Anyhow, I'm younger, let me say younger than 28 years. I will give him a pass. Because the nonsensical question is this. Well, the PPP is not the only political party that rule over Guyana. The PNC had 35 years. How come none of it was done? Why are we asking these questions when you had the ability to do it and did nothing? Let me start from the point of view of saying this, Raphael. We had free education in this country from nursery to university. That was done during the Forbes-Bonham PNC years. Free education from nursery to university. We were getting free uniforms. They used to call it the PPP, labeled it Bonham Benton. It was cotton that was manufactured right here locally. The PPP used to call it Bonham Benton because cotton, unless you starched it and so on, did not remain crisp and smooth. But we had free education from nursery to university. We had school meals. We had school meals. We had a university, don't even let me go to the university. We had an education system that produced the best among the Caribbean. Guyana had the highest literacy rate in the Caribbean under the Forbes-Bonham PNC. Because a premium was placed in education. I remember, for example, we had school buses of all sorts. We had the Tata buses, then you had the Kayo. There was a Guyana GTS, a Guyana Transportation Services Limited. So we had public transportation that was managed and controlled and orderly, operated by the state. And so provisions were made for school children. They had something they call a contract. You buy a contract and you travel for the rest of the month on it. You only got to show your contract, akin to the Lorna driver's license booklet with your photograph inside. Transportation ran on schedule, so school children used to know which bus they got to take to get to school on time. And then the government decided, listen, we don't necessarily want our children traveling among the adults. We're going to give them school buses. And I remember there were some school buses that came from Cuba. They were cream in color. We used to call them biscuit cans. Because the walls were made from, I think, galvanized. The structure was made from galvanized. And it didn't have all of that filler and so on that would stiffen it and stuff like that. But it transported us to school. My favorite driver was a woman named Vasil. I know there's still a female driver who now works minibus. I'm trying to remember her name. But that is far from it. I ain't talking about that. Let me talk about what Raphael is saying we didn't do, or the government didn't do, for 28 years or 35 years according to him. Education at the university, from nursery to primary, from nursery to university, was free. The only thing you had to do back then, I think, was to serve national service. You had to give back to your country. Having achieved free university education, there was something called national service. It instilled nationalism in many of the citizens of this country. Like I said, we had the highest literacy rate in the Caribbean. It means our people were not illiterate. They used to get free exercise books, etc., etc. And all of that was done, Raphael, without oil money. It was all done without oil money. It was all done without access to the kind of foreign capital that we have in this country now. As a matter of fact, many of the constraints that we were facing were as a result of us not having free access to foreign capital. Because once Barnum nationalized the bauxite industry and sugar, just like they did to Cuba and Jamaica and elsewhere, the powerful quote-unquote foreign investors decided, their governments decided they're going to squeeze Guyana. They're going to squeeze Barnum. They're going to make an example out of him. And so the challenges were there to overcome. But yet, the policies of the government catered for the upward mobility of the citizens. You didn't have this indecent wealth on one side and this disgusting poverty on the other. So, Raphael, go educate yourself before you come and ask the nonsense. It wasn't done because it could not be done because the resources were not, well, it was done, quite frankly. It could not be done to the level that is possible now because the resources weren't there. The resources weren't there. Policemen, public servants in general were well respected in this society under the Forbes Barnum PNC because what? They were treated with respect because they had their education and respect was given to their education. They were allowed to function. Policemen weren't turned into murderers and assassins to the government, well, for the government and the friends and cronies of the government. At least it wasn't widespread. Police misbehavior wasn't condoned. But here we are in 2024, and we know the challenges what they are. We have more access to international capital. We have more access to foreign direct investment. We have more access to income generated from our natural resources. But we are poor as a people. And so, Raphael, I'm very, very sorry for your ignorance. But like I said, I'll give you a pass if you're younger than 28 years. But I will encourage you, go do your research, go educate yourself. Don't worry with the PPP forcing down your throat, and then come back. It aggravates me seriously when it is people come onto this program and they ask this kind of nonsense. It is really, really aggravating. Because knowledge is out there, information is out there. And unless you're intellectually lazy, you will go and find it. Now, Raphael telling me it seems as though I was educated at Congress Place because I talking a bunch of bullshit. What Raphael is proving to me is that he has no interest in learning. And since this is a teaching program, goodbye, Raphael. I think I blocked the wrong person, you know. But anyhow, I'm going for Raphael again. If I block the wrong person, I'm going to unblock you after the program. So Raphael is gone. I blocked him. You know why it's aggravating? Because he cannot speak the truth. PNC have a major issue with the truth. I usually tell people this. You can't stop a man from believing what he wants to believe, man or woman. And so I don't usually waste too much time trying to convince people as to what they should believe. But I know I wouldn't waste my time trying to convince them. That is why Raphael is gone. You can come back with another name, but all of your life. Caller, you're on. Caller, you're on. Caller, try again. It's 25 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. Let's take our calls and our voice notes and so on. Caller, you're on. Good morning.
Yes, I'm saying all the time, yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. We're going to get there. But I love what you just did. You did not represent Obama's wife message to the world. When them go low, you must go high. I like you stay low with Raphael. Thank you very much. But I would like to thank you for your response to me yesterday, word to word. You said, Flash Garden, I would love to be president and prime minister. But right now, I'm going to put a little bit more sugar and pepper in it. But right now, I'm not focused on that. I already have a leader ready, and it's my duty to rally behind that leader. Let me trust him and verify him. Let me give him some support. But what I want to see, the back of the people that go, that anything could come after. I do hope Mr. Niger Hughes listened to you yesterday, and Mr. David. Because if they really want to see the back of people that go, we would have done a coalition and get the fire burning in Guyana. Just how Jack did them plan since January gone to a bombshell 2000 with it 100,000, 200,000. We would have dropped our bombshell, and our bombshell would be on the boots on the floor, boots on the ground. We would have got businessman phoning John Joe them better say, hey, you got to answer the different call. We losing millions of dollars. But we did not have no plan to drop our own bombshell. Let me move on. I always call in your program, and to me, you're crying. My brother, if you're listening, if I'm bored, sorry, I'm scared or something like that.
What's going on here?
My grandmother teaches garden. In this life where you're going up, nothing comes to black people easy. You got to fight for it. You got to fight for it. He said, do all of it because it belongs to you. Take it. Because our ancestors fight for it. And they fight for freedom for we. And we must continue fighting for freedom. Stop calling and tell about this project and this contract. Their bully is in power. But we have power. Why do you believe God gives black man more power than any other race? Tell anybody like that and say. Because no advantage will be taken on us. And he gave us power to represent ourselves. That's why he makes sure they have a rule in every country that the citizen of the country have a right to protest. When they're not getting fairly treatment, what belongs to them, they have a right to bring the government down and out. We have to stop crying. Let me remind my black brothers and sisters 2020 election, them could tell themselves that the Cody government must control the island, must rule black man, must rule country, and they fight and fight until they win. Today we are not fighting and say, hey, this country that got to come into office because they're fighting our teacher education. Now look how we talking about 100,000 every day. We representing what I'm calling job the bank. But when we represent and demand, our teachers go back in school, our children get a medication. We did not fight the way how we supposed to fight. Like that. But all the talking, coming and program and talk and talk. I stop the talking. Don't wait for Flash Garden, come and fight. Garden get old now. We don't do the part already. We got to get boots. We got to get boots. Everybody want to be chief and not Apache. That's not working, Guyana. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your call. Hector Messiah, kindly check your device. I just confirmed that there is sound. So you will need to restart your device or something to that extent. Please and thank you. Voice note.
Kadaki, bless and good morning to you and your listeners this morning. With respect to Bharat Jagdeo and Butas, I don't know if I call his name correct. Realize that that the milk started turning. So you're talking about Butas feel like he have some relationship with the PPP, but he don't know the PPP. Karaki, what is most disturbing? Bharat Jagdeo seems to know a lot what it is going on, and that is frightening. Listening to Rickford Book, I couldn't listen to him. I couldn't listen to him last night. I listened to him this morning. I would get up early and I listened to Rickford Book with the Attorney General. Karaki, the fastest all they could get them people from which part they are and replace people with competence and honesty and dignity and integrity, Guyana will be a better place. Having these fly-by-night president and vice president and attorney general, Kakaraki has seen a dark cloud hanging over the roof of Guyana. The fastest all could move them people from where they are and put them in a place that they wouldn't have no return. I think Guyana will be a better place. Karaki, I will say that much for now, but there are many more I will love to see. But one day at a time, my brother. You stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for your voice note. Caller, you on. Caller, you're on. Are you in traffic?
Good morning, brother. Good morning to all viewers to the program this morning. First, let me say, I want to ask a question. If there is supposed to be an investigation by Suku with Deputy Commissioner, I think, no? Because why don't they widen the investigation? For that matter, investigate all the top brass of the Guyana Police Force. Investigate the commissioner, investigate everybody. You know? Investigate everyone. You know what I mean? I mean, just to hold on for one man, because you would know that even if the allegations that they are making are true, the allegations that they are making are true, he could not have done that by himself. Everybody taking a bite and watching somebody and getting off, and they decide to scream. And I dare say, I would have heard something like the commissioner acknowledged. I don't know if it is true. I'm not saying this is true. If the commissioner had acknowledged receiving some money from some businessman to pay for the Mr. Brutus's wedding. It's an allegation. I don't know if it's true, but that commissioner of police, if the investigation is to go correctly, he's supposed to resign right away. You don't, when you hold in such position, you can imagine being in the United States as a police commissioner, like the one where they carry or accepting, you could imagine in such a position accepting money for a rank in the New York Police Department. What would have happened to him? When they found that he would have been gone, he would have gone hopeless. So that not only could you crucify Luther, crucify everybody, you just get lunch on it. Let me get Interpol, because don't trust no investigation launched by the OPR in Ghana. No. Just rule that out. Just let me get Interpol or the FBI to investigate, call all of them, hook them up to the detector test. You know, all the chap brass in the police force, hook them up and see if they're lying and investigate all the financial expenditure and improprieties, if there is. You know, find out how they get, what's their salary, find out what they drink, what kind of drink did they drink.
Morning, everyone. Morning. Morning. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is 7 hours 31 on the 23rd day of October in the year 2024. Welcome to another program of the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. How was your yesterday? What happened yesterday that made it significantly better than the days before? What happened last night? Did you rest and recuperate, or you were busy all night? Did you lie awake thinking about how you're putting food on the table this morning for your children? Or how you're finding money to pay transportation today to go to work? Or even what are you putting in your lunch bowl today? Those are as real as I speak about them. The many of our people today they don't know what their next meal looks like. What gives you hope today? What are your plans for getting by today? What are your plans for getting by today? Yeah, you might have set some smart goals. How do you see yourselves achieving those goals as set? You just have them in your head, or you got them on paper so you can revisit and you can tweak here and you can tweak there and so on. Modify your plans for success. Talk to me. I want to know that today. I seriously want to know that today. Let me tell you this week, that's tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, 18 hours.
Colin Haynes is going to be on the program like we started last week, Health Inside Out. And he's going to be on the program with the former Chief Medical Officer. As former Chief Medical Officer of the public hospital. And they will be talking about HIV and AIDS, the Ghana situation. Yes, that's what they will be talking about. HIV and AIDS, the Ghana situation. So tune in. Tune into the program. And so you can, stay abreast with what's happening in the society. It's Wednesday. And we're supposed to have Dr. HINDS in the house. Yes, we're supposed to have Dr. HINDS in the house. And we're going to be talking about a number of things so long as he comes. But in the meantime, let me address some of the issues which I think people still are stuck on. I would think so. There's a Harish or somebody on this program who's talking about Obornum Band. For the life of me, I cannot understand why Indo-Guyanese, or especially Indo-Guyanese, have not moved on from Bornum years in this country. Especially the negatives, or what they consider the negatives. Because listen, every leader in the history of any society is going to have positive and negative traits. They would have implemented positive and negative policies that did well and policies that failed in any society. Do we dwell on the negatives all the time? Or we take the positives and work on them to improve them, to update them, to bring them into the current scenario? Imagine a man talking about Bornum Ban. Here are the things that he's talking about Bornum Ban. Sardines. In my mind, in my mind, sardine is like onto the lowest quality of seafood one can consume. Seafood. Sardines are small fries, as we call them, packed in some fancy tomato gravy or hot sauce or something and sold to poor people. People, I would say, who cannot necessarily afford to do better than eat sardine. Sardine is packed usually with even the gut. And that is what people fighting up over, who would ban sardine when it was replaced with smoked fish, salted fish. Where is your patriotism? Why should we spend scarce foreign currency to import some low quality food from our oppressors at the time? Why should we? And you hold that against your leader, or the country's leader, I should say, because he was showing you what is better and what is more nutritious and what is worth investing your money on. I don't know if he banned it. I really and truly don't know what were the things that were banned. I know there were some restrictions on some items. I understand the economic situation which caused those restrictions. But for me to sit and give you a list of things that were banned or not banned, I can't really tell you that because I've never really made it my business to go look for it. But I'm just saying there was an alternative, readily available alternative to sardine, to the consumption of sardine, and that alternative provided jobs for our people. And to a large extent, it provided jobs and enrichment for the people of these very, someone said to say, dishonest Indians who come onto this program and just keep harping about Wobonum ban. Look at the fishing industry in this country. It's dominated by Indo-Guyanese. And so they should have been in high praise of Barnum for banning sardines because he made way for the fish caught to be consumed locally. In fact, he gave them a bigger chunk of the market. But no, there can be no praise, there can be no upliftment of that idea because it came from Barnum. Barnum banned evaporated milk. Really? Did we really need evaporated milk when we had fresh cow's milk? Again, the majority of people who benefited from the absence of evaporated milk would have been Indo-Guyanese because, again, they were the majority and still, I think, are the majority in the cattle industry. But no praise for Barnum, despite the fact that there was the Litco Livestock Industry Development Company, Litco plant, which collected from coast to coast the milk produced by these very Indo-Guyanese. I just realized something. Let me see if Dr. Hines is where I think he might be. Coast to coast milk produced by these very Indo-Guyanese. And he took it, it was taken to the Litco plant and processed into a value-added product. And so they got more money for the produce. They got more reliable market for the produce because they didn't have to keep it on hand and hope to sell it by a 1 pint and a 2 pint and a gallon and so. Right? Instead, what they were able to do is send it in bulk to the pasteurization plant where they were paid and the milk was preserved and sold better than any evaporated milk. You wanted evaporated milk? I don't know what the process is, but as far as I know, just as it says. Add low sugar to it because that is what I see, a whole lot of sugar in milk. And you process it so that most of the quote-unquote water evaporates in the milk is thickened. Y'all could make the right thing. We had a thing named Penus. So many of you remember Penus. Born and banned potatoes. Nutritionally, potato is one of the I don't know what is the nutritional value of potatoes except a whole lot of starch. Huh? What is the nutritional value of potatoes? They say you got minerals, vitamins, and fiber. Right? Vitamin C, potassium, iron, vitamin B6, protein, fiber. Right? Compare that to the nutritional value of arrows. Vitamin C, iron, and also other nutrients like fiber, carbohydrates, and protein. So that quick look there suggests to me that arrows have a wider nutritional content than potatoes. And so if potatoes were banned, I know the replacement was arrows and yam. Don't forget yams. I tell you, if I'm going to eat a curry, I prefer yams in my curry or arrows in my curry. Right? That's what I prefer. Yams or arrows. Yams have potassium, carbohydrate, dietary fibers, proteins, vitamin C. Yeah. And so we're complaining about banning potato when we had readily available alternatives here, like arrows and yams, which we know were coming fresh from our farms. And again, they were providing employment for our people. They were giving us a bigger chunk of the food consumption market. And we were eating fresh and healthy. What could be so wrong with such a policy? Except that people just are bent on making boredom the devil's incarnate. What could be so wrong? Even if, as you claim, these things were banned. Look at the alternatives. In present-day Guyana, if you look at our food import bill, you would know that it is a sin. Because I don't see it as anything else. I see it as a sin, the food import bill of Guyana, when you consider the fact that we were once considered the breadbasket of the Caribbean, or the possible breadbasket of the Caribbean. I wonder what the food import bill is. Because the reality is, according to this quick search, between January to June 2022, Guyana's food import bill totaled US $101.7 million. This did not include beverage and tobacco, which accounted for another $30.3 million US dollars. During the same period in 2023, the country's total food importation bill rose to $122.2 million, while beverage and tobacco imports reached US $30.9 million. Are you recognizing what is happening there? In this period when nothing is banned,
our reliance on imported food is increasing. In 2022, it was just about $101 million. And by 2023, a year later, it went to $122 million. An approximate $20 million US increase in our food import bill over a 1 year period. I can imagine what it is now. I can imagine what it is now. And let us ask the question, what is the nutritional value of the foods that we are importing compared to foods that can be grown right here and consumed? What is the nutritional value? For the most part, food that is imported into this country are GMO, genetically modified. Like them big fat tough skin tomatoes that come from Brazil, I think. Check them. Compared to our nice juicy soft skinned tomatoes here in Ghana, fresh from the farm, providing employment and a source of income for our farmers and their families, compared to those which are imported from Brazil and elsewhere, providing a source of income and employment, yes, for one person or two persons, that is the middleman who brings it and the person who sells it. Because they don't provide employment for farm hands, and they don't provide employment for reapers and sowers and maintenance people and so on. How patriotic are we? How patriotic are we when we choose to spend our money in the development of farmers from a foreign land than our own local farmers? How patriotic are we? How do we help our country to grow like that? Lots and lots of farmlands across this country, inaccessible, number one. Number two, poorly irrigated. And so cannot be used to their fullest potential. And our food import bill keeps going to the sky. And what are we importing? Genetically modified food. Foods which will eventually have serious implications for our health. But Bornham's policy was the worst. Bornham's policy was the worst. Because we wanted pickled mackerel, sardines, evaporated milk, when we had the readily available, fresh, nutritious alternatives right here. No potato stew, as far as I know, could compare with a yam or an edo. Give me my salted banga or even smoked banga. I really don't eat smoked fish because my own learning tells me that it's not healthy. the amount of carbon monoxide that is captured in that food. So give me my fresh bango. Or trout, or gray snapper, or red snapper. Gale barker, perhaps. I don't eat unscaled fish, but I love a shark. What need do I have for sardines? And since I haven't seen Dr. HINDS yet, let's continue to talk about foods and our food consumption and our food import bill. Do you know that because of the wickedness of this government, racism of this government, the lives of Guyanese are put at serious risks with the consumption of rice? Do you know that? Just the other day, a large shipment of rice was returned from one of the international destinations. Because of the amount of pesticides used on it. Good. Because of the amount of pesticides used in the rice, a large quantity of Guyana's rice was returned from one of those foreign destinations. Marcel is saying European Union, perhaps. I'll talk about wheat flour and bread just now, Jesse James. Right? The European, let me say the foreign buyer, because I'm not sure who it is. I see Marcel saying it might be the European Union. I can't remember who it was. Could have returned the rice to Guyana because they had mechanisms to test it and realize that the pesticide content was so heavy that it was not fit for human consumption. But imagine right here in Guyana, we consume the same rice. We consume the same rice. What are the long-term impact or effects of consuming rice that is adulterated with pesticides? Do a little bio now. Right? Your kidneys and your liver are responsible for what was the word I want to use? They process, but they're responsible for purifying. They're responsible for there's that word I'm looking for. Filtering. Yeah, let me say filtering. Filtering that which your body consumes. And so when you're consuming all of these pesticides and foreign things in your body, those organs need to work harder and they get destroyed in the process. And so many of our citizens, if it has not started happening already, and I want to believe it has started happening, toxins, the removal of toxins, yes. Many of our citizens are now suffering from and will suffer from kidney failure. And will have to be patients of dialysis. Are you seeing a trend any part in this country where a lot of people are suffering from kidney failure? If it weren't a problem, why then did the government have to budget? Under the Granger government, they established free dialysis centers, especially in Borbis. So I would want to believe a large percentage of that problem is found in Borbis. And Borbis is the land of what? Rice.
Bobby produces a lot of Guyanese rice. So that problem affects them not only by consumption, but also by the employment practices of having to shy fertilizer and spray pesticides and so on. And so the body gets affected. And a lot of our people are ending up on dialysis. I was saying that the problem is definitely a pronounced one, because under the Granger government, they made dialysis free at certain centers across the country, definitely in Bobby's. When the PPP came to office, they shut them down. They say, we're going to change the structure. We're giving you all what? I can't remember, $300,000 a year for dialysis or something like that. I can't remember the amount. But the PPP recognized also that kidney failures and so on are a problem in this society. And so they had to provide some assistance to patients of dialysis. Because of the heavy pesticides used. Why are they using so much pesticides in the rice industry? I'll explain it to you. They got a thing named paddy bug. Paddy bug does give in rice. If you can't control paddy bug, your rice production is not profitable, you're going to be destroyed. So they have certain inputs, certain fertilizer mix that you have to use to nourish the soil, to nourish the plant, and to keep out the pest. Apparently, Guyana has not mastered that mix yet. They don't have the technology to control the paddy bug and to nourish the soil. Or the people who are dominating rice apparently don't have it. Because my understanding is that there's a man named Buford Adams in this country, African Guyanese man, who got into the fertilizer producing business, has the formula for the right mix. He credits himself, I have to say he credits himself, because I don't know, with bringing about a turnaround in the rice industry in the early years of the PPP in office, when Ghana suddenly started getting more than 20 bags of paddy per acre or something. Whatever, I don't know the numbers. I ain't into the rice thing. But from my understanding, Buford Adams' mix was doing well enough. But because of racism and ethnic oppression, the PPP and the PPP friends decided that, hey, who is this black man to come and dominate the rice industry because his fertilizer is good? Let's kick him to the curb. And so Buford Adams got kicked to the curb. His fertilizer mix got kicked to the curb because none of them could reproduce it. And the rice industry is suffering. But these people come and tell you Bornham ban this and Bornham ban that. They are not going to tell you that the PPP is creating tremendous hardships to people in the rice industry because they are not allowing free market to run it. They wouldn't tell you, or they don't know, that an Indian, I think it's a Canadian American national, or some Indian operating out of Canada or the US, came to this country, engaged in discussions with Zulfikar, no, Mustafa, or whatever his name, agriculture minister, among other big players in the PPP government, about investing in fertilizer for the rice industry. Had an agreement with them. And when they found out that he was in partnership with Buford Adams, they kicked him to the curb too. And told him if ever he wants to do business with the PPP government of Guyana, forget that somebody named Buford Adams exists. But these people come here every day to tell you crap about Bornham. Ancient history. They don't tell you these things. They don't tell you these things. And so let's get to, I'm taking my guidance this morning. To Jesse James, I think it is Jesse James, say, why you don't, you see, they're so small-minded. I said, I think $300,000, I'm not sure what the amount is. Jesse James is asking me, why you didn't go above $300,000? It's $600,000. Great. It's $600,000. But I will tell you that it is woefully inadequate for any patient who has to get dialysis. And I can tell you because not so long ago, somebody reached out to me to assist in raising funds for a patient of dialysis, despite the fact he was getting $600,000. Because the amount is woefully inadequate. Do I prefer $600,000 or do I prefer free access? Free access immediately frees me up from that psychological strain. I got to study where it's coming from. I know that these are my dates that I turn up to get the what is it? Drained. I will say drained. Dialysis. What do they do to you? I don't even know. Right? So if you're $600, yes, it just really and truly cut it. The coalition government, without access to our money at that time, had made dialysis free for persons who needed it. You know how much psychological strain and stress they remove from people? Do you know psychological stress and strain causes your health to deteriorate rapidly? So they already got this physical stress and strain because of the kidney failures and so on. And then you're adding psychological pressures to them. You're killing them already. So Jesse James asked me to talk about flour. Why you didn't talk about flour and bread? Let me make this clear to you. Again, the nutritional value of wheat and flour is nil. Zip, I'll know it's zero. One set of sugar, starch, carbohydrates in your system. You could go Google it yourself. What's the nutritional value of wheat flour? I think I know damn value except belly full. Even belly full ain't good enough. You have to add so many other things to that thing to make it make sense. That's a starters. But let's talk about wheat flour. First and foremost, these folks argue that Barnum banned flour to punish Indo-Guyanese. But if you check the history of this country and flour consumption, you would realize that Afro-Guyanese on a daily basis consume more wheat and flour than Indo-Guyanese. I challenge you all to tell me differently. The majority of Indo-Guyanese were using wheat and flour for domestic purposes. Afro-Guyanese were using wheat and flour for commercial purposes. They had bakeries. And still do. It's not so long ago Indo-Guyanese started investing in bakery, as far as I know. It's the one area that Afro-Guyanese to some extent dominated for a brief period of time in this country. I say brief because I don't think they dominate now. So when flour was banned, it had a more dire economic impact on Afro-Guyanese businesses than it had on Indo-Guyanese. What were they affected by? I can't make a roti, I can't make a dal puri. But you had whole bakeries that were providing employment for people that for the greater part had to close the doors. And so since Black families were reliant on bakeries for employment and provision of meals, Black man used to eat bread for breakfast, Black man used to eat bread for dinner, possibly Black man used to eat bread for lunch, tea, breakfast, and dinners be like say. And so if this flour was banned, yes, it affected every single person in the country. But I would argue that it affected on a greater economic scale African Guyanese. But let's ask the question. Deal with the elephant in the room, as they say. Was flour really banned in? Or we couldn't afford to buy flour? When daddy bring home the little chicken food money and he put it on the table and he say, well, girl, this is what we get. I'm not going to eat chicken this week. Because if I will buy chicken, I will come buy rice. And if I will buy chicken, I will come buy sugar. And rice and sugar are the basics in any home for feeding people. Once you get a little rice, you could make a meal. But if you get chicken without rice, you're bad. So when your daddy bring home the little bit money and he say, well, girl, this is what I will get. I will come buy chicken for this week. Did he ban chicken? Or did he react to his financial constraints? A lot of you who come here and talk about banning flour don't even know the arrangements under which Ghana was getting flour. They got a program that was called PL 480. PL 480. We're going to credit you flour, Ghana. We're going to supply you with all the wheat. Excuse me. You're going to mill it. You're going to sell it to your people. And then you're going to pay us for the wheat. It's so Ghana used to get flour. And when Barnum's make bad with his handlers in North America, because Barnum had handlers too. Don't let anybody fool you and tell you Barnum hadn't handlers. But he was stronger in dealing with his handlers. And because of his strength of dealing with his handlers, they decided they got to put you in his place. We got to put you in your place by your smell and your sweat. And see what you're going to do. You will find your cash money to pay us for our wheat. You will pay us for our wheat cash. And this is the only way you can get it. Bonham said, well, buy, things are right. We ain't got the kind of money to pay for no wheat. So you're going to keep your wheat. Indira Gandhi, Indian Prime Minister at the time, stepped in and said, oh, Uncle Sam, I going to pay for the wheat for them. They're going to pay me back. Let I pay for the wheat. Me and them going to make your own arrangements. We going to pay for the wheat and you going to give them the wheat. And they're going to pay me. And Uncle Sam said, no. It ain't working, so. Why you pay for it? This man is smelling his sweat. Tell yourself you have more seed than Belanje, so let he pay for it. The only way you get in the wheat is if you pay for it. And being the state of everything in the country at the time, we had access to that kind of resources. And so Bonham said, well, hey, we're going to do it without the wheat, man. We got alternatives. Many argue that he had learned the technology for making rice flour from India. And so he said, let us switch to indigenous flours, man. Let me make rice flour. And he put his local scientists to work on producing rice flour. But what did the Indian leaders do? They taboo it. They consult Barnum and say he banned flour to punish Indo-Guyanese. I hope I've just made a case that African Guyanese had worse punishment because flour wasn't available to the bakeries. And so he didn't get support with rice flour. He didn't get support with all of the alternatives that he was providing because the PPP was politicking. They had a scorch in the earth. Rice flour was being used in India for all kinds of things. But here in Ghana, they say rice flour is taboo. It can't use. They give berry, you give rice walk, all kinds of things. Fast forward to 2024. Fast forward to 2024 from the 70s or the 80s. 60 years ago, perhaps. I hope my math's wild enough. I'm just guessing. Barbados, I think, is producing bread out of rice flour, out of cassava flour, and it is quite expensive. Try buying a box of Rice Krispies in the US. It is quite expensive. Try buying a pound of rice flour in the US. It is quite expensive. And so again, I ask the question, was it a bad vision for Ghana to become self-sufficient, to feed itself even in the production of rice flour? Nowadays, I know there's a co-op in this country that is producing cassava flour, arrow flour, sweet potato flour, breadfruit flour, and they are all integrated into the making of breads and cakes. And the nutritional value of those breads and cakes are way above breads and cakes that are made with wheaten flour. So upgrade your education. Upgrade your education. Accept that, hey, Barnum was a man ahead of his time. The man had the vision incomparable to the likes of Jagan. While they're fighting for import low-class fish from the US sardine, Barnum said, hey, we local bango powerful, why let's use it. But they're causing up to now. They're causing now. And come telling we, talk about that. Well, I talk about it. What's your response? Was Barnum all bad? Was he more bad than good? Were his policies that detrimental to this country? Or his political opponents were able to brainwash a large section of this society to the extent that even 30, 40, 50, 60 years after, they cannot come to the realization that perhaps a lot of those policies were good for the growth and development of this country. It's 60 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. The lines are open. 622-5933 is the number to call. 622-5933 is the number to call. And let me take some time out to wish a special lady happy birthday. Hi, y'all. How you do? You know yourself. Y'all know the lady on the screen? Y'all don't know her? All right. Look at her. And it says she turned 16 today. Isn't that so? Happy birthday, Jennifer. Birthday wishes are coming to you from, you know, your dear Elian and your mommy and your relatives and friends and the extended family and everybody. They say to wish you a happy birthday. And may you live to see many, many more satisfying years of good health and good living. I endorse those wishes and I wish you all the best for today and forevermore. Have a beautiful birthday, Jenny. Right? Well, I went to my visit the last time, well, the first time or that time when I was over in the US. Jennifer and her sister, they were quite hospitable. I'm talking to myself all the time. I ain't put up no picture. It's somewhere you're self-opinionated. Where is it? You're a narcissist. You only think about yourself. There's Jennifer. Right? So join me in wishing Jennifer a happy birthday, and may she live to see many, many more, and have a wonderful day. Call it life.
Morning to that.
Good morning to you, sir.
What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Because this morning I wanted to address this thing about GMO foods, right? After listening to the convo, which is run by Penwell Docho out of South Africa, he was speaking. I sent you a short. I would love for you to play. He was speaking to Rotondo Martinieri, a Zimbabwean. He is very, very powerful in fighting wars against the West, right? And he is one of the men who single-handedly fought the sanctions and fought to get rid of the sanctions against Zimbabwe. Now he's fighting the war against GMOs in Zimbabwe. He's even being sued by big multinational companies. This man's, hear what? I am ready to go broke, but to make sure that my people live a healthy life and the cancer rate in Zimbabwe comes down. When we think about everything that we're importing, right? These multinationals is all about profit, and they don't care what they're going to think about yield and giving us GMO food. We got big fancy, what the thing name in up in Barbie River, the planting, what's this thing named soy, right? Do you know how, and I'm sure that's GMO, do you know how the farmers nearby will be affected by that? Their crops will be affected, and all of those chemicals and stuff, cancer-giving stuff that is being placed in these things could be transferred just by blowing things over, just like how we get pollination. Our people are in a bad state. We're eating the fancy meat that's coming from out here. The things only when I come home, then I know beef is beef and chicken is chickening, shrimp is shrimping. And I'm trying my best to come off of those things. But we want all of these important things. We're so happy to get these important things that is plugged with our whole heap of crap that is killing us. I've lived in Bahamas for 14 years. Bahamas imports produce nothing when it comes to food. Nothing. They import everything. And when you check in the Caribbean, Bahamas has one of the highest cancer rates. Why? It's because of diet. It's because of what they're eating. Our people are in a bad state. We got to decolonialize ourselves with what we eat. We got to get rid of that in what we eat. So, yes, I wanted to hit about GMO this morning because that thing is very, very serious, and we just want to bring in seeds. Bill and Melinda Gates, what they're doing in Africa, trying to buy out all the seeds and stockpiling. I want to introduce GMO. Heavy there, Kenya running with it. The Kenyan president in problems. A lot of the Africans are saying no. In Russia, it's you've been prosecuted and sent to jail if you only talk about GMO because it's not good for the nation. Now we're heading down that road. Our farmers gonna hug it up because they want to profit big, but not realizing you're killing a nation, and we ain't got no much people in our nation. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your call. So let's have this food conversation. They got this these what do you call them? Millennium goals and so on and so forth. Call it like.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Happy Wednesday. I miss Dr. HINDS. My God, my God. Let me start off by saying we're going to get there. And I'm going to rally around your words and talk about it every day. If you buzz me in, we Americans say, hey, like buzz me in, I'll leave my keys upstairs.
All over the line. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Juan Francis, I don't care what you have to say. Once you don't come on cuss. Goodbye. Go ahead, Flash.
What I want to see the back of the PPP them go. Those are words, you may not realize it. But trust God, you understand those words. That is what I need to see. The back of the PPP, they must go. Because our people perishing. The wealth of our country is not spreading to each and every one of Guyanese in the country. Let me say this here too. You see, our Prime Minister, when the people ready for him, water in bed, if he drink for cola. The Prime Minister allowed the government and his government to sweep the teeth of them out, and our children, our education, and then when St. Vincent began a problem, he took a big picture with two man and ready for send on aid to take care of St. Vincent children and teachers and government workers. That's what he part played. But then Jack will send blank check later on and let them enjoy black people money. I listened to Mr. David program last night, a powerful program. He mentioned Martin Luther King. That is good. But he mentioned God. Yes, if you're speaking out of the spirit, the living spirit, but he asked the question. He said, God, tell us what is happening to us. God already gave us power to stop what's happening to us. We all know and see what's happening to us in Guyana. Black people, we know already. We got to use God's power. Our ancestors did it. Puffy did not bust that strain by natural strength. God, we have to step in and give them that extra power to bust that chain and set our parents free, our ancestors free. What are we asking for? What are we waiting for? Stop asking God, God, if I have to be a voice for my people, God don't want any more voice for our people dying, our children, our education has been tampered with every gang, Guyana. What we need to answer, what we need to ask God for, go in King James, the book of King James Bible, and see what something asked for. God did not say no. See what God did to Pharaoh to let people there go. And if God didn't want to ask God, if was speaking out this morning and reminding you about the word of God, he would have removed that from our brains, from our spirits. God said, thou shalt not kill. But Jesus came and said, I come not to condemn, but to fulfill. What Jesus mean by that? Whatever God said, my father said, what Moses said, what Abraham said, I will not put nothing against that, but I will fulfill. What was it fulfill? Peter, put on the sword. You live by the sword, you perish by the sword. We all know the meaning of perish. It's time for black people to come together. It's time for y'all to come together and start running and running and running. We could only conquer the wicked, holy people and governments by come together with love, unity, and support, and ask God for that extra strength for that chain what Jack do. One man chaining every each black people. One man with the help of police, staff police, and staff soldier. We have power, and the power we got to use our power. We're not using our power. Sit back and remember. I said again, yes, I will say it again. God give black people more power in this world and any other ways. I don't care who. Matter of fact, God. Demonstrated that extra power. The man, as history, is the American force to farm, brain surgery in America. Black, not Chinese, not white, not Korean, black. The current we use in the light, black. They stop like them. Red, green, and gold, black. Like the power what God bet you with. Black people, are you have the power to marvel, come together and stop them, Collie. Look around what them, Collie, do. Let me say this here before we go. Are you still there?
Yes.
One video that's played every day for anti-data. That's the last of the wrap up. Listen to that video clearly. I don't like it. Because we always said anti-data will be paid. Anti-data said from 1965 to vote for the cut of the 2020, but you don't like the things and what they're doing. Nothing is different than what the people are doing to black people and children. What's it coming to my eyes? From the tribe black man, and then to come and tell that God, you don't like the thing with them. I should never say that. They told it on my vote, WP, or see my vote. Since I should not want to go, should not have to go encourage change. But you make sure you put them all in power to control their money and then mark a place video they are not. It's an insult for black man. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for calling. Yeah, y'all don't get emotional. Stay rational. Don't get emotional. Stay rational. The lines remain on 6225933 is the number to call you. Tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. You know, this morning wasn't my response morning. Hey, let's put up my Zelle, say I'm gonna put some money in the Zelle account. Yes, bills got to pay, you know. I don't think this thing only for water. Especially Harold James. Harold James, you ought to throw something in the kitty this morning, boy. You're getting a lot of answers to your questions. I wonder if Harold James is Miranda Brown in a different name. Call it live.
Yeah, good morning, I'm good. Stop it, you know. When you listen to how these people keep berating what Lyndon Forbes, Samson Forbes, executive president, did for this country, even extending to the Caribbean and further, probably the world also, you know that he did a lot of things because with the things that he removed, when you are talking just now about potato, I don't really buy it that much. But when you buy potato, it got to taste like yam. And it ain't got to me, I prefer Edo, but I never did yam curry, but I prefer Edo curry to potato. Now when Burnham did bad things as they were taught, he made certain that Guyana became a country producing so many things. We had Gaikan, jams and jelly. I ate cereals. I ate Family Delight cereal. That was something tasting better than the big hair Kellogg's and Sunshine cornflakes that we now buy. Then we had this they had a milk powder along with the liquid milk. And so many things came out from the banning. As you rightly said, we used to use strictly cut fish. We were able to start using our local fishes and getting saltfish. As a child growing up, I used to eat more cut saltfish coming all the way from Northwest. And I would run to more cut saltfish because I grew up with that. Now with this thing with wheat and so, I quite certain if we try we could plant wheat in this country, and we might get a better yield of wheat. Because at one time, I know of people planting in Denham still back down. This thing aniseed and I think barley was being planted in Denham still back down. Egg back is a stone throw from me. In the back dam of Hague, people were planting onions and all them things where you see people clamoring for. So things that were being banned brought cottage industry into Guyana. Look, when fruits were being banned, then everybody know that five finger and papa and all them things what would go to glut became something that was needed to prepare fruits for Christmas. And when you finish boiling your fruits, the liquid that comes out from the fruits does make a mean soy sauce. Because when I finish boiling my fruits, I would get a lovely soy sauce. And sometimes I could convert it into cashew to make the pepper pot. So from those spin-offs and things that Barnum did, we were at a better rate. Now Guyana is importing clay bricks. Before Barnum did the clay brick factory, and I can't remember his way now. Either Bellbag or we didn't used to hear about clay bricks. We know about Dutch bricks. Now clay bricks is being imported into this country, and them same people who bought the clay brick, buying the clay brick now and building the place with it. All of those were things that Barnum developed. But because Barnum developed it, when the PPP came into power in 1992, they destroyed every iota that Barnum put into this place. Look at our young people. When we had national service used to account for a lot of young people who are now running and smoking weed and selling weed. Little children selling weed, smoking it. In Barnum time, they ain't not time for that. Because since you play, you don't want to go to school, you roll you by national service. And by the time you spend 18 months at any national service center, you coming out as a different species. Coming out as somebody respected, well-rounded, educated, whether you get scholastic education and you had a theoretical education that you could have gone into the world of work, and then you had the military training that you would have known how to toss the flag on the ground. You would have known that when you hear the national anthem, the first bar of the national anthem and any national service center, you can't walk. You didn't know you got to stand up and pay reverence to your anthem, reverence to your pledge, because those were your symbols of nationhood. Look what goes on now. Nothing. In the same national service, we used to learn patriotic songs. Because when you see you got campfire night and them night, them this is songs we singing to do your campfire. So Barnum really did a lot to this country, and all those things, as the PPP continue, where the spiteful and wicked self, they look in all areas to destroy the legacy of President Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum. But you know, things that are being implanted in the sun, it don't really realize though. Okay, I'll give one other thing. I usually shop at a certain place, about business place, say Forester. Now, you call them, you give in your order, they will bring your stuff and you pay. Now, I call in the order on since Wednesday, not Wednesday, Monday. Because I got to do some work at my place. Call them Monday, say yes, you're going to get it. Now, the workers came by me yesterday, waiting on this delivery. And when the delivery come, when the delivery came at around 2 o'clock, there was the cement and the tin set. And then the sun came at 5:45. Now imagine poor me with all the first 200,000, then got down to the 100,000. Got to pay workers for a whole day waiting and stuff. Why I bring this? If you call into like GT&T and those places, they will tell you Oh, within 7 to 8 working days, we gonna remedy your fault. And I feel that if these big business places got a problem, they should at least tell the customers, well, look, you might gotta wait for 2 or 3 days. So you will not get your workmen to come now and can't do work, and you got to pay them. Because you can't tell you, oh, those materials income, I come at your workplace. The moment I clock at your workplace, me money start rolling out. So I hope somebody from Forrestal can assist me to alleviate the cost and to tell people, if you're calling your order, you want to bring it to till 3059. Tell the people 3059. Then the work to come 3060 to start the work. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. And there's a serious problem on this raised there. Many people might think it's trivial, but it's it's a problem that occurs and people encounter ever so often. A lot of these hardware stores and so on, they're offering free delivery sometimes, if you spend above a certain amount of money, but their deliveries are not on a timely basis. I had the same experience when it's talking about with I live in Buxton, mind you, with suppliers on the East Coast. You go, you pay for stuff. There's some stuff that you have to order to get them. All right, we will deliver in 24 hours. We will deliver in 48 hours. When that time comes, then they don't call you. They don't call you, let's say, a few hours ahead or at the close of the day before to say we won't be able to deliver tomorrow as promised, and give you a heads up so you can say to the workers, don't come today. No. The day comes when they're supposed to deliver. The time passes when they're supposed to deliver, and you are there sitting with your workers waiting. They don't call you. You have to call them, and then they will tell you, oh, sorry, the driver ain't come to work, and we got this problem and that problem and the other problem. In the meantime, you are spending resources that you can ill afford to spend to get no work done. And that's the reality. So Rwanda is raising a really serious issue there. But as they like said, this is Guyana. Is there a consumers association? Is there a consumers complaint authority that you can go to and get some of these things rectified? I doubt it. I remember early in the year, the Ashley Furniture Store said they had sale. They were selling mattresses. I remember going there to buy. And then I hear, well, when they were supposed to deliver, delivery wasn't happening. And when I checked with them, then I was going to be told, I'm sorry, we couldn't deliver because we are out of stock. Like, really? You oversell what you had on sale? Like, really? And then the client has to call you to find out that you are out of stock? Instead of you calling the client to say, well, listen, we're out of stock and these are the alternatives. Consumers ain't got no right in this society. I sometimes wonder if Guyanese at all got rights. But anyhow, let's help to pay some bills.
It's the PNCR fundraising bingo on Sunday, the 27th of October at Congress Place of Fire from 2 p.m. Over $5 million to be won. There will be 20 straight games at $100,000 per game, 3 letter games at $200,000 per game, 3 coverall games at $1 million per game. Tickets are $6,000. 1 ticket gets you 6 playing cards. Remember, it's the PNCR Big Fundraising Bingo on Sunday, the 27th of October at Congress Place of Fire from 2 p.m.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in town, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambiance is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work, but everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent the hall. You can rent the hall, honey. You can rent the hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out. You know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you.
Running around like headless chicken. Go to Ashton's Marketplace for whole and cut chicken, beef and lots more. Ashton's offers wholesale and retail. Check them out. Call 613-2332 or WhatsApp 434-327-3955. Ashton's Marketplace at 72 Rock Street, Border.
Are you planning your next visit to Aldridge, Guyana, South America? Well, let's accommodate you at Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. With free secured on-premises parking, our beautiful vacation air-conditioned home offers 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, and all modern amenities. Located at Tushen, on the eastern bank of the mighty Essequibo and the western coast of Demerara, Varon's Cheerful Country Manor is just a stone throw from the ocean. Make that reservation now on Airbnb and VRBO. For contact, call us on 516-770-3053 or 592-685-3521. Make Varon's Cheerful Country Manor your home away from home.
Friday, November 1st, the place to be is at Club Twilight. Yours truly, Trinidad Madman. I will be coming to Guyana for the first time, live and alive in living colors, in Buxton at Twilight Sideline Dam for an event called Short Pants and Skirts. So ladies, all they come out in all their numbers, Twilight Sideline Dam in Buxton, East Coast Guyana. Buxton is going to be on a shutdown. So ladies, get all your short pants and skirts. Friday, November 1st, the place to be is at Club Twilight.
Comes out your son. You burn this wine when no wire shine. The tree of life, them no wire climb, cause them art no kind. Comes, I said them art no kind.
Lines remain open 6225933 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. Welcome to the program. Do we have any voice notes? I don't think I see any. Yes, you see what they call this thing, a chafing dish or food warmer. We call them food warmer. Yes, these are available for rental. I got a big function. You're looking for some food warmers to rent. They got them. Call 682-7981. And all of those, what I would call ceremonial chairs, yes, that you're seeing on the screen every now and again, call them. They got them to rent. 682-7981. Call or WhatsApp. Yes, call or WhatsApp. Yes, do just that. Take the stress out of hosting, they say. Take the stress out of hosting and enjoy yourself, because you can get a one-stop shop for everything you want for hosting. You can get decor, you can get furnishings, you can get all that you want. You could get fancy ceremonial chairs and so on and so forth. Look at those beauties, right? 682-7981. 682-7981. 81. I am reading that about half hour ago, a large number of police ranks swooped down on the home of Butus. Calvin, is that his name? I can't remember the man's name. Butus, apparently with the hope of arresting him. Right? And I'm also reading that the money that they're saying that this man accumulated in an illicit manner, some property that he bought somewhere, 25% of that money came from one of the person investigating him, and that is Karimbash. It is alleged that Karimbash provided 25%, right, of the money that Butas used to purchase a particular property that they are investigating its acquisition. Y'all ever see magic, sir? I am going to repeat. Butas bought a schooner property, according to the news, for $20 million. And Karimbash provided 25% of that money for the property to be bought. Who is investigating who, really? Are these people investigating themselves? Let's have an international investigation, and then we're going to see who are the culprits. Call A Live.
Good morning. Good morning to the listening public. My contribution this morning is the food import into Guyana. Sometime in the early 70s, there was a research done on the cancer in Guyana and the Caribbean. And Guyana recorded the lowest. And they summarized it by, they said it wasn't recorded. So they couldn't find the growth of cancer in Guyana as the rest of the island in the Caribbean and the region. But then fast forwarded, from the time the country opened up, the food we're eating is 90% processed. Even in America, I've seen pepper pots selling in cans. I've seen a lot of product mark have a Guyana flag and a Jamaica flag like they're in partnership. What is really happening? The Chinese take over the port in Jamaica. They control the port. They did a research around the region and mass producing all this crap from China and ship it out to Jamaica and sell it to us. We have to be careful what we eat. Guyanese need to go back to the basics, eat what to produce. And it's fundamental to survive a biggest cancer epidemic. Finally, Brutus. I have no sympathy to Brutus. I have no sympathy in none of those law officers in Guyana. Because you know what? They were part and parcel of the government, this said government. When BBC Seattle said that not because PDP and you are friends, you don't know the PDP. I think every Afro-Guyanese who saw in this administration should pay attention to BBC. He said, not because you don't know the PDP. It means that they are deadly. Let Brutus fall and let him go down. He has done nothing for the opposition while you were there. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open 6225923 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. I see a voice note. Usually this person doesn't send me a public voice note. So I'm going to play this one. I hope I'm playing it right. Yes, I've gone past discussing Butas because a lot of the things which are coming out right now about Butas and the police and so on are things that I've spoken about a long time ago. Y'all didn't want to listen. Y'all didn't hear it. Y'all think Amsterdam, the BUXTONIAN, just callous, just crazy, just loose. Y'all didn't want to listen to me when I talk to y'all. I tell you all about a big balance in his son's bank account, and then Karimbash went to court and said they found how much money hold for me. Good morning. $500 million in 9 bank accounts, including that of his toddler. Call you live.
Yeah, good morning, sir. My take this morning, these people talking about Linden, Forbes, Samson, Boredom, and banning flour and banning potato and all these things. No. let me tell you what I think going on. Election is on the horizon. So Lyndon Forbes Samson Born has to be invoked again. Every elections, you will find that. So we gotta be, thoughtful, careful. All these people all they thinking about is racism. Racism. Thief, murder, racism. So we gotta be careful. Don't let the leave off of what we doing and what we thinking about. You can get there, Anyway, thanks very much.
Thank you, Carla. I know that a lot of people will say that this Borum story is a whole story and why you keep responding or why you all keep responding, because of the same reason that this call is mentioning here. They use Borum as a zombie to scare Indo-Guyanese back into the PPP camp by resurrecting this ghost of Borum. Borum was this bad and that terrible and the other. We have a duty to educate those very Indo-Guyanese. Despite how much we say they are intellectually lazy, or many of them are intellectually lazy because they keep getting the PPP forcing crap down their throat and they're not researching and they're not reading and they're not learning for themselves. We have the responsibility to shine a light on some of these issues to them. Don't mind sometimes it has pushed me to the extent that I just block them because they show no possibility of learning. They come here with a closed minds. But sometimes, you have to spend some time and educate them. And even some of our own African Guyanese people, we have to educate because a lot of them were born under the PPP. And all they know is the PPP in government. And so imagine a youngster born under the PPP and became an adult under the PPP and see all the lawlessness that the PPP was doing. Experienced 3 to 5 years of the coalition when the coalition didn't have access to our money to give a $200,000 per household grant or $100,000 per individual grant. And then the PPP comes and gives $100,000 per individual grant. That youngster say, yeah, PPP is superior to the coalition because they give them $100,000 grant. But that youngster was not exposed to the time of the PPP and the killing fields, the Black Clothes Squad, and the way they were murdering African Guyanese youths in the streets. And that youngster was not exposed to enough education to understand that you could only give what you get and stuff like that. So we have to spend time educating our people and also educating their people. I'm up to the task. I don't know about anybody else. So I was saying earlier, if you have your nice wedding and so on coming up, sweet 16th birthday, or just some family get together and so on, and you're looking for some of these nice ceremonial chairs, you can get them. Call 682-7981, and you are going to be able to arrange a rental. They also have the regular chairs like these. That's a folding chair. This is the black one. And they have the white ones too, and they have the red ones, and so on and so forth. Right? Yeah. And they have folding tables, big and small, and they have tents and so on and so forth. So just, you know the story. Call 682 or WhatsApp 682-7981. And somebody will be happy to provide that information for you. Good. Like I did yesterday, for the next 3 minutes, I'm not going to say anything. I'm waiting for you to put something in the Zelle. Somebody is asking about the Cash App, if it's still working, if we're not fixing it, and so on and so forth. Yes, the Cash App should be fixed by the end of the week. There were some procedures we had to go through, and so to rectify some issues. And so we are almost at the end of that. So you're going to hear when the Cash App is fully up and functional. Good. I want to repeat that if anybody wants to send donations to the program by money transfer, you must first contact me, please, and thank you, so I can give you the necessary information to use to send those transfers. It's election time and things are difficult in this country, and so the money transfer agencies are back to the blocking spree and so on and so forth, right? And so I don't want you to send the little top up and then I got to tell you, you got to go and collect it back because you're not allowing us to collect it and so on and so forth. Just stay aware of that. Good. Remember, it's Jennifer's birthday. Yeah, it's Jennifer's birthday today. Jennifer, what are you doing for the birthday, girl? I got a tune I want to play for you. I say I'm looking after money and stop taking calls. This one is some Patrice Roberts. This one is a Jennifer. I hope you like it, girl. Enjoy
To get
yourself.
started in data analytics, you don't need previous
How are
experience.
you doing? I asked you for talk.
Will teach you to code and
Carnival, I love you so.
I don't know a Caribbean woman that doesn't like a good soca song. And this one, I think it's fitting for you, Jennifer. Have a good one.
Patrice again, Patrice again, Patrice again. When I go down, when I go down, high out of my mind, looseness in my waist, not to answer shame. Washing up my spine, making up my face, not to answer shame. They don't know me already. When it comes to party, I just wine and go down and wine and go down and wine and go down full stop. And everybody, let us talk about me. With my hand in the air and rubbing my head. Why not doing it? Till I hold and break. 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 Well, all of my friends, them is bad influence. I have not to answer shame. Bring the cameraman, you could put me on Instagram. I have not to answer shame. You don't know me already. Don't care about nobody. I just turn up the 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 vibes, but stop. And everybody, they just call me crazy. With my hand in the air and rum in my head. Why not doing it? Till I hold and break. Till I hold and break. Till I hold and break. Till I hold and break.
Yes, if it takes me till I hold and great and show the PPP gets out of power, trust me, I will do it because they're no good for this country. No good whatsoever. None. Y'all have a good day. Much love. Blessings. Talk to you tomorrow morning with the man on the economy, Winston Jordan. Tomorrow we're going to talk more about that. But did you notice on the press conference with Clive Thomas, the question was asked and answered. Given the amount of oil that is now being produced, and I see Exxon say a new well is coming on stream shortly, and it will produce, I think, 250,000 barrels of oil per day. Given the amount of oil that is being produced in this country right now, if he thinks Guyanese deserve more than that $5,000 US approximately per household, he said yes. He's going to provide a figure down in the discussion, but Professor Clive Thomas is at this current point saying that given the level of production of oil, Guyanese deserve more than and can get more than $5,000 US per household. So those who are jumping around and hollering up about this $100,000 joke money, y'all shouting about 200,000 per household, joke money. They start paying, they start changing. The professor says we are now at a position where we can pay more than 5,000 per household. I hope you also listen to his reasoning as to why he is sticking with a per household payment. Because if you stick per household, you basically get to cover everybody if you take the right approach. But when you go individual 18 years and older, What about those single parent or those teen parent? Many of them are 16 and 15, teenage mothers especially. What happened to them? They ain't getting nothing for the children. But if you go household, they have households too. So they will get for their children and themselves. Have a good day. Think about that. We'll talk tomorrow. Much love. I got things to do. I got to go there and, grind like everybody else. Love you.